This is Kirsten Taylor doing a marketing analysis for illustrators David Kirk and Michaela Goede. David Kirk is an illustrator, toy designer, and publisher based in upstate New York and is best known for his Miss Spider's book series of 23 books selling 5 million copies in the past 25 years. His design started in toy making and design with the company Hubert Toys, and that marketing ended up sending toys off to Europe and Australia, changing that market more globally. It also shows us that one can market things in 3D form. But this backdoor into illustration gave him notice for book publishers Callaway and Scholastics because they saw his toy prototypes and they asked him to create books, the Miss Spider books. Those books had a lot of attention through famous people like Madonna and Hillary Clinton, which gave him international recognition. His target audience is early readers from 6 to 9 years old. After that, he went into merchandising for the store Target in the US, and he created a line called Sunny Patch, which was children's clothing and furniture and gardening tools based on Miss Spider. This was unusual because this was before any animated shows came out, which is usually the way it goes, where kids know what the character is before, but they didn't do it that way. Later on, a few years later, Nickelodeon decided to animate his cartoon of Miss Spider, and they called that Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Kids, and that went on for several seasons. This was a computer 3D generated Canadian-British show, and this show focused again on children learning life's lessons. And later on in his life, in 2019, Kirk and his brother wanted more control with their books, and he created his own publishing company called Pip Weasel. They wanted more responsibility to take care from production to book marketing and publicity. Doing this also helped him have more control with his creativity out there in the world. After that, he also created an app called ArtFace, which promotes creativity and learning through play for children. This provides support for educators in the classroom with character coloring pages. The app design branched out into new media because this also connects Kirk with his target audience of children and worldwide markets with the media. And if you need to see David Kirk, you can go to davidkirktreehouse.com and you can see his very long career. Next illustrator is Michaela Goede, illustrator and graphic designer. She is a watercolor painter, illustrator, and designer based in Sitka, Alaska. Her early work was mostly graphic design and focused on regional markets of Alaska. Her work varies from landscape vignettes and personal projects, kind of giving a cohesive mood through cool color palettes and the spirit of the land. She is inspired by the coastal wilds of Southeast Alaskan landscapes and nature in her traditional territory of the Tlingit Tsimshian nations. So her market in the beginning was very regional and based in Alaska. So you can see her graphic design reflects her environment. Later on, a few years later, and more recent in sort of 2017 and on, she has found her niche as a children's book illustrator in Indigenous Tlingit, bringing ancient Tlingit stories and other topics of cultural and environmental importance. She's basically positioning herself within the market as an advocate for Mother Earth, and by doing this, it has linked her globally because the climate crisis affects us all. The majority of her books are sold in the North American market, but I feel that she probably will branch out more internationally because of the content. The content of her work positions her as a voice for global concerns, as seen through the lens of her Indigenous Kidlit identity. And you can see by the images in her books called The Water Protectors that she very much embraces protecting the land through her culture. Thank you for listening.